course, all the homeowners are what big now.
If you want to buy bottoms, look for Bunti.
Welcome back to another episode of Backholder Pod. This is a very last minute request, but it seems like I think in the property camp, there are a few that, or at least we have seen quite a few comments saying that Kelvin is particularly biased into homeowners that decide to upgrade to maybe private property, whether it's a condo or landed. So I think we just wanted to kickstart the discussion to, I guess, expand this viewpoint from both sides of the camp and also share experiences because I believe Eric is in the midst of trying to move. Bunti, I think maybe you'll kickstart the discussion. You have a few questions for Kelvin, right?
Yeah, I think my question is, Kelvin share with us his view on property investment before this, right? I think he's more towards like stock investment and so on. Then suddenly after meeting Eric, the Eric Huat Kueh, not our Eric here, then suddenly his mind seems like changed already. He think that, oh, property investment is a good investment. So I just want to ask Kelvin, like what has changed actually? What I actually watched the video, but maybe you can elaborate a bit more. Like what's the things like how does he convince you that property investment is a good investment?
Let me just cover this. All along, I'm always open to upgrading your property and stuff. I don't know, my beef is don't upgrade if you don't have the means to lah. So like yeah, and you have to upgrade for the right reason ma. So if your reason a while ago there was this insurance financial advisor guy who upgraded borrowed money from his mom to buy a condo, right? Because the reason was to show to his colleague that he has this status kind of thing lah. So to me, that is the wrong reason for upgrading. The right reason for upgrading is to make money lah, which is what Eric the Huat Kueh and our Eric the Huat Kueh also is advocating. No, maybe not advocating, but they are both in the same direction lah. That condo is a good way to grow your wealth. So I'm always open to this kind of stuff. But to even reach there, you have to see whether you can afford or not lah. Yeah, so that's the thing.
So what's the base assumptions, right, when it comes to this? Like, because if we look at Singapore residential prices, I think there's period that it went like stagnant for quite a number of years. It's just that recent years, I mean, maybe you can say that since COVID suddenly just shoot up, right? Of course, all the homeowners are what big now. But the thing is, I mean, looking at longer periods, right? I don't think like let's say property, just the prices itself, right, can like have the same kind of returns compared to stock market. The only reason that I think property prices, like investing in property can give you better returns is because of the leverage. Specifically, you borrowed monies from the bank. And this one also depends on what kind of financing that you can get from the banks, right? Last time, bank financing was very cheap. Of course, you can get a lot of returns. You're servicing a very cheap loan, and then your house prices are going up. It's like win-win, like for you. But yeah, not assuming like that, but let's say, right, property prices stagnant from now, and then you still have to pay the high financing cost. Do you think that that's still a good investment?
Actually, it is. So, like you mentioned, the property price was stagnant because around so I went to check around 2008 to 2013, there was a total of like I think 9 cooling measures, as compared to right now there's only like 1 or 2. So the 9 cooling measures is straight away the break the legs of the of the property prices lah. So they were stagnant for all the way until near COVID time. So that break the whole trend. So now it's
Sorry,
coming up, coming back
cooling
up.
measures is on public or private housing?
I think both. So like stuff like ABSD and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what are they lah. Yeah, so there were a lot of cooling measures during that short time frame. From 2009 all the way to 2013, there were like 9 cooling measures lah. So because everyone was like trying to jump onto this bandwagon ma, they were trying to upgrade property left and right. So this cooling measure had to come in. So, but now unless the government go and cool the thing over again, then prices will stay stagnant until the next bull run come in again. But otherwise, it's very likely that it will keep going up, like because people are just more and more people are coming into Singapore. Yeah, and they're going to just buy up the property. Yeah.
So, Eric, what's your thinking on these topics? Like,
I don't know leh. I think the cooling measures, I was just trying to look at the chart, the period that Kelvin was saying. It seems that the property actually moved up during the cooling measures. And it only stagnated, I think, from 2013 to 2019. That 6-year period was the period that property really went nowhere. So it's not during the cooling measures. And in fact, the cooling measures, right? Why you have so many? Is because the property is like in danger of running away. That's why the cooling measure is meant to hold the raging bull so that it appreciates more gradually. So it's not that cooling measures slap the thing until it becomes stagnant. It's actually just to hold the market so that it doesn't run away and become like Hong Kong, where everything is like, wow, totally cannot afford to the common man. So I think the thing about cooling measures, right, you have to remember is not meant to smack down the market. It's meant to rein in the market. So that the change in perspective is quite important. Now, if the market is like lackluster, right, then there's no need for cooling measure. So you just let the market forces play lor, because it's very gradual, very stagnant. So when you see the market like raging again, that's when additional cooling measure may be in place. But again, same time, right, when you have cooling measure, I think you can look forward to like a more sustainable and sustained period of property growth. So like as to the point, like what Bunti shared, right, about interest rate and all that, right, I feel that the current interest rate is more of like the norm. Like before the great financial crisis, right, near zero interest rate is like the anomaly. It's not the norm. In fact, like 3%, 4%, this kind of interest rate is, historically speaking, is okay. It's not like, yeah. So I think most people don't remember the period where we have like 5, 6% interest rate, that kind of thing. I remember when I was very young, my mom used to love to put FD because the interest is very high. So that was like what, 40 years ago. Yeah. So maybe we are going back to that period of norm where the interest rate is like 3 to 4%. Yeah. But to be frank, if interest is going at that rate, right, then inflation, if it keeps at a healthy pace, like 2, 3% like that, then your property is gonna be a very good bet. Because asset prices go along with the inflation. What we are afraid of is deflation, then people will not spend, then the property price go down, then wow, that one jialat already, right? The whole economy will go into a tailspin. So I think this period of interest might be a good thing also. Yeah. So it's not necessarily bad for properties.
So Eric, when are you going to get your property?
Next year, if nothing goes wrong. Because I'm targeting a plot near my place. There's two developments, one EC and there's an integrated. So I'm just waiting to see like what's the pricing like.
EC you can buy, man. You're over the income, what?
Can, because I pay myself a salary.
Right.
I decide the salary.
So they don't consider annual income where you give out dividends as a shareholder or directorship, those kind of things.
No, they don't
So they
consider
purely
that.
calculate from your income perspective.
Yeah, because to be honest, if you open a company, right, like private limited, even that income, right, you can tweak it, right? Like that year, I just do renovation, I hire 5 people, lor. Then the next year I lay them off, lor. So, like, there's always a lot of ways to do something. I mean, legally, lor. So no biggie lah. It's the income is quite easy to do it once you have a private limited. So I'm just looking at the prices. To be honest, they are on a bit of a high side. In my 40 years of living, I feel that now they are a bit on the high side. But I've always had this feeling. Yeah. But my wife said now really a bit higher. Lah. Yeah. In relation to our income level compared to the pre-COVID era. Yeah. So yeah, I actually quite agree that property investing is good. So recently I shared with you all something. One of my friends, right, is also a teacher. She sent me this SMS, right? Then she say that, oh, this is how you can use the property, right, to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And then wow, end of the day, you got a pot of gold. Then you can fire, can retire. So I
So
was
the
looking
buy
at the
sell buy sell buy sell is always upgrading
yeah,
from HDB, from BTO to
yes.
another EC, maybe then condo landed.
So her logic is this. So initially you save up like 250K, right? Down payment for a condo, right? So you pay for that condo, upgrade from a HDB. sell away your HDB, you get a capital gain. Then in a capital gain, right? So your condo you hold for 3-4 years, you have a forced savings, you pay down the principal, then your condo 3-4 years later you sell again, you get another capital gain of like 250K. So the initial HDB that you sold for a gain of 100 odd K plus this 250K, then you combine together, then you buy the next property, a bigger one. So you keep repeating the process. Then finally you get the landed. Then after that, you can choose to downgrade lah, up to you lah. You get as big as property as you can, then you downgrade to like a 5 room.
Actually, I have economics question, Eric. You say this every 3 years got 250K, right? Where's
No,
the
no, no.
value?
My friend say, not I say.
Okay. Whatever it is, like, I mean the logic of staying in the game, right? Like
Yeah.
every 3 years you flip, or every 5 years you flip, right?
Mm.
Where is this $250,000 in value coming from?
That's why I asked her lah. I say, hey, this one not guaranteed leh.
Yeah. So back to the question, right? Like, where's the value created from? The BTO I understand because it's a subsidy flat, so you go out, you already earn that lottery effect, lah. Meaning they are trying to curb it, but there is still, because naturally it's subsidized and then what. So if you look at it from a private development point of view, the developer wants to earn money. Yes, understand, reasonable. They are doing a business. The owner also want to earn money because they want to upgrade. The seller that comes in probably also want to earn money because he thinks that he's buying and then he's probably going to flip it in 3 years' time as well. So if everybody want to earn money, then where is this value being created from? Just purely
Yeah,
from a Singapore land scarce, that's why the inflation or what?
Yeah, if the market is rising slowly, right, then every 3 to 5 years you will see appreciable increase ma, because your position is leveraged.
No, I think this 200K increase, right, it's not a leverage position. It's a cost on value, meaning like a 1 mil condo become 1.2 mil. That's you get the 200K ma. The leverage idea comes in when you take into account capital ma. But this 200K creation in value in 3 years, I'm just asking where did that value came from? Because inflation,
Because
Singapore property, what?
always go up.
Yes, stonks. Yeah.
Then
I
okay.
mean
Then
recent years lah, but I challenge her the same thing as you did. I say that there are periods where property went nowhere. Yeah. What if you buy
Also there's
2013
also period that it came down, right? I just look at
came
this
down? Yeah.
just from trading economics, right? Singapore residential property price index, right? If you look at 1996, right, it's like about 130 points. Then fast forward 8 years later, which is 2004, it is about 80 points. So from 130 to 80, you go and calculate what's the percentage drop. That's not like 1 year it came down, right? It could stretch quite a number of years, but still come down.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pushback from most like agents or consultants would be because you don't know how to choose. Even in a
Yeah,
falling
true.
market, my property
Yeah.
will still go up in price because
Yes.
knowledge gap, right?
Buy the good one lah. I think
Yeah.
that's the video, right, Kevin?
Yeah. So I think like, yeah, this property thing, right? You really need to have the holding power, because generally the market, the property market, right? Generally they are upward trending lah. Of course, there are cyclic period like what you say. There's a downtrend, stagnant and all that. But if you hold like for 20 years, 30 years, I think there's the likelihood of a good outcome is a bit
But
higher.
actually, I try to argue the other way lah, because I'm thinking we tend to extrapolate recent years, okay, pattern or the trend, and specifically if you look at, let's say, like past 5 years or so, right? I think one reason is because during COVID period, in terms of the housing development, also they're stuck, right? So in terms of the supply, also they have some sort of issues there. At least for that, I don't know how long it is. Maybe it's like 1 or 2 years affected by the COVID. So you have supply issue there. And then on the demand side, right, of course, there's a lot of immigration that coming in Singapore, right, in the past few years. So, and this one, I don't have a data to show that it is out of norm or anything, or I can't project moving forward with the immigration rate came down. I don't know. It's just that I'm just saying this past few years, there are few things that is working in favor of the property prices. And I don't know whether this kind of, like factors or trend will continue. Like, will the immigration rate actually further go up, right? Who knows? Or would there be any problem with the supply, right? I also don't know, because if you argue that, oh, Singapore is just an island, like there's limited land, actually you just drive around, you just look at Singapore, right? There's still plenty of land around. The only thing that I can see is that there's some discipline when it comes to property development. It's not like the developer can just develop like whatever number of buildings they want to build lah. So I think there's discipline there compared to KL. Malaysia situation is very different now. But I just don't know whether the trend will continue. And we don't. The other part that's uncertain is all the policy lah, like cooling measure and so on. So if you make the bet, there's all this risk that's around. Like you can't just skip through that, right?
So I'm quite interested in what Calvin mentioned earlier, right? He said that your beef is against people who don't have the means, right? What kind of means are you thinking of?
So let's say if you are earning like 5K salary times two lah, husband and wife, then you
Yep.
go and buy a 1 point something mil kind of condo. This means your take home pay after spending it on needs, the rest all goes into dumping into the condo already. So I don't know the exact math lah. So
Yeah.
it's basically that way. So there's basically no diversification already. It's like me going all in on Tesla.
I think that's
But I
the
think
norm, right? That's the norm for many
I think
people.
they can't do that now, right? Because of the don't know what
Yeah, the
TDSR,
TA.
MSR, all those things. Like if you're because I've seen some agents calculated out before, right? They say that if you want to buy like 1.6 mil, you know, how much income do you need? So the projected one is not that low, no. It's 5K. I don't think you can do those kind of purchase.
Yeah, 2% 10K. But actually, B versus condo, right? Condo you can get a lot more loan one. I don't know how it, how it works. But I just remember that when I met one agent when I was buying my places my house. Then the person actually tried to convince me to buy condo. Then I was like, how can I buy condo? Like I can't afford. Then they work out the math is like actually I can loan quite a big numbers as compared to if I'm just buying HDB. Like the like I cannot afford, let's say 700,000 HDB, but I can afford 900,000 condo. Yeah,
So why do you choose HDB?
cheap lah.
Do you
Yeah,
regret it?
I don't regret actually, but I'm just thinking that buying condo, right? Okay, even though I mean loan wise you can afford to get that number of loan, but to me it's like that's not a comfort thing to do. Yeah, that's what
Because
was my
Monty got
concern.
by Nvidia also. Don't forget.
You lie.
Yeah, Nvidia confirmed faster than any HDB condo out there.
Was that your consideration? Seriously?
You mean the Nvidia? No lah. My concern is really like I can't afford it. Although I can afford from the bank perspective, buying
Stretching
condo.
lah, stretching. Like
So
Yeah,
your
yeah.
so
comfortability is
for
not.
for
Yeah.
you, it's like you're not comfortable with it. It's not that you cannot afford it,
It's like I will make myself in a situation where okay, like bulk of my saving will just go to paying for the mortgage.
which the bank is comfortable with, lah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm saying condo, they can give you more loan, but not HDB. That was a bit interesting
Ye-
to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's true, it's true. I
Yeah.
also don't understand.
Okay, so I did the math. The 10K pay can afford like 3.4K mortgage. So
0.4. 3.4 then can
150K.
buy how many mil?
This one I don't know lah. Yeah.
Need to work
So
out the math.
personally, are you open to it? Like if definitely you can afford it, lah. Like are you open to just like buying one and then renting it out?
I'm
That kind
open to anything that makes money lah. But whether I can do it, I want to do it or not is another thing lah.
So do you want to do it?
I think need more research, but I'm definitely open lah.
Wow.
Because
Or
okay, so property is one thing, right? Business is another thing, right? Stock is another thing, right? So it's not just only limited to property. Because I think for a lot of like traditional Singaporeans, their main thing to earn money is property. That's why every couple go and want to BTO. He go and BTO this this unit, they already hard right from the start already. But if you can rely on like business income, this 20-30%, let's say Nvidia lah 100x in this 1-2 years. Property, your business can 100x in every year consecutively. So it's a very different game lah. So property is not the only thing that I have.
I think the property really you need it to go up and then you just win from the leverage. For example, right, like Nvidia, how much I put in, don't know, maybe 10,000, right? It goes up like 5x. I only earn like 50K, right? But my friend who just bought, a condo, 1 million, Just need to go up by 20%. Suddenly got 200K already. Just laughing at me. 5x still only earn 50K. For me, 20% already earn like 200K. So that's how it works. The leverage really help
No,
when
but
it go up.
then the other thing is that you don't really have to go into property to earn from property, right? So like Property Link Brothers, the Eric Huat Gui, they are actually selling the shower. So what they are, Property Link Brothers, they are doing marketing. Eric is doing his consulting. I'm very sure he's earning way more than that than the property himself. So yeah, it's not the only thing lah, to earn from property lah.
Mm. I
Side
think
note,
he's
3.4K is a 800K loan at a 3% interest for 30 years. That's 3.4K per month. So you can loan
3.4.
800. So actually meaning 20% down payment, that's only at 1 mil. I think no condo is, if you want a decent sized condo, 2 room, 3 room, don't have 1 mil already.
Don't have. OCR now, I think new launch, right? If you're buying like two bedder, I think if I'm not wrong, it's like 1.4, somewhere around there. If you're buying like three bedder, right, it's 1.9 thereabouts.
That's why I need to get the parents to top up the difference lah, if they cannot afford, right? Loan a
Yeah,
300-400K lor, then enough already lah. Just nice.
yeah. But that's the sad thing about it now, because you need external help to buy that property. Then after that, you're still chained to the mortgage. That's something that I think.
Actually, the FOMO quite real, yeah, especially for younger folks out there. The FOMO is not really I want to buy, I want to earn money though. I think the FOMO is more of the pricing problem. It's
Yeah.
like everybody keep thinking property price very high, very high. I'm not too sure about the period where you all talk about stagnating. I believe Singapore property definitely had times where it's stagnating. So the funny thing was, why during stagnating you don't buy? Why the price keep going up, then you buy? I guess it's the same as stock market lah.
Hey, I bought at bottom.
Wow, see, Nvidia bought at bottom, HDB bought at bottom, everything also bought at bottom.
Yeah, you look at the
If
chart.
you
I bought late 2017. So really
if you
bottom.
want to buy bottoms, look for Bunti.
He can do a consult with you, sell shovels.
10K 10K per consult.
Then I can buy condo already.
No, I feel like this whole housing thing, right? It's a good thing that Singapore, it's a very pragmatic thing also lah, that people want to earn money. It's an investment vehicle for them, but cannot force it. If the timing is right, because of all these BTO restrictions and whatnot. Sometimes even if you want to buy when the market is crashing or like there's a recession, touch wood, if you're locked in, you can't buy also. You only can salivate and salivate and
Yeah,
see people earn money. But the issue also is you need to maintain that flexibility, and
correct.
also don't keep harping on the fact that, I'm waiting for the market to crash, Then you don't want to enter because you don't want to get locked. Then just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Then what if the market doesn't crash? Then you need a house because you want to start a family. Like a lot of the decisions are not easily predictable. Like you can't calculate it. Like you can't move. It's not like stocks where you can enter and exit easily. So that's just my perspective
Yeah.
lah.
I was just thinking about what Kelvin said earlier, right? About property being one thing, business being one thing, stocks being one thing, right? I think the reason why so many Singaporeans are, what's that word for it? Enamored with it. Is there such a word?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so why we are so fascinated, infatuated with it? Very simple reason. Because the likelihood of succeeding with property long term, right, is more probable. Like business, right? If you look at business succeeding, a probability, you go to Accra and do a search. Within the first 3 years, right, 30% of businesses fail. First 5 years, right, 40% fail. By the 10th year, right, a good two-thirds of them fail. 15 years, I think 80 to 90% of business no longer operating. So you want a business that has longevity, it's actually quite hard to find it, like, so you want to depend on business, okay, sure. What is the likelihood of people succeeding in business? I would say that it's a lot lower than property.
Mr. Lu will
Stocks,
tell you S&P 500 older than Singapore,
yeah lah, a lot of things
right?
older than Singapore. But anyway, as I was saying, stocks also, not everyone can be a bunti, right? Not everyone pick a 10 bagger. Like we pick
Easily.
Tesla. We pick Tesla. So I don't know, like you want to choose a vehicle that has a higher likelihood, higher probability of doing well, fits well with your temperament, and is good over the long term. You want it to appreciate slowly. If you want to do fast or crypto also can what. A lot of things also can what. But what's the likelihood? The risk versus your likelihood of getting a significant reward. I think property is one of the good avenues. That's why people are so caught up with it, because it's very emotional thing also. You stay in it, you love it, you mop it. I don't know. You can flex with your friend like, hey, let's take a Wi-Fi. Then you take. Then at the back got one staircase. People know already, right? Stay landed. What? Gui, Yeah. So I think like, yeah, later I tell you all something off the camera. Like you all will understand what I mean. Yeah. So it's, yeah lor, it's property is a very, it has its charms, I would say. So it's not just another one of a vehicle. Yeah. It does has its unique charms. Yes, Kelvin. I
For
hope I
Bunti, I'm more curious why Bunti is not interested in upgrading to a condo.
I'm lazy. I rather buy REITs.
you have a lot of risks already. Don't need to
No, I
buy.
don't have. I don't have REITs.
REITs,
The
REITs.
REITs,
He's talking about REITs.
real estate investment trust. I don't
Yeah.
have.
You have RISZ.
But it's
Yeah,
different, right?
close.
You don't have the leverage of you
Yeah,
don't have
the
the
leverage is the one that I
you don't have the Singapore
don't
dream
have.
built into it.
Yeah,
You cannot stay in it.
true.
You
Yeah, you
cannot.
cannot take photo.
Yeah,
But the dividend come out, you can rent a place, what? Right?
it's not the same as
You
your
can
own
rent a place.
property, bro.
没脸了 rented one.
Yeah, lor. How do you flex, man? You take Wi-Fi with Hotel 81. Yeah, with my dividend. Allow, nobody cares, man.
You sure or not? AK71 will like to disagree.
No lah, he doesn't stay at the rented.
As in, yeah, lah, but he's flexing his dividend every year, what?
Yeah lah. But I think the flex with his dividend is different from Kelvin. When you walk into Eric Chu's house, it's a bit different, right? The feeling is different. When he sit you down on his sofa, then you look at all the ceiling. Wow, so high, sia.
Actually,
Outside,
no feeling because I stay in landed for half of my life already.
wow, serious.
So this is just another
Bigger
landed for me.
flex.
You're landed
Is it Bunti?
at what place, yeah?
Malaysia lah.
Ayo, that one where got same.
It's the same. You have equally big space. You
Actually, if
can
you think
park
about
two
it,
cars
yeah,
in
it's the
it.
same, what? Is it not?
It's just
It's
in
not
different
lah.
countries.
It's not the same.
Why?
Quite simply, the infrastructure is not the same. What?
What infrastructure? The house is a house.
So if I tell you a cup of water on the airplane and a cup of water in a coffee shop, is it the same?
It's the same lah. You drink it down H2O.
Yeah lah, but
Yeah.
does it cost the same?
That's you being dumb paying for the more expensive.
No, the location makes a big difference though. If you're in a desert,
Wait, so
is it the same?
So if the comparison like that, right? So if you go Johor Sultan, the palace compared to landed, which one is more grand?
I don't
Compare it
know,
that
leh.
way.
That one is what?
People stay in a palace, leh. It's
Of course,
freaking-
palace more grand.
Yeah, so the point, right? But Singapore is, I guess, more.
But his house has a swimming pool, so that's the main difference. But other than that, it's the same.
Whose house?
Eric,
But I thought most landed properties has swimming pool.
Malaysia don't have. Maybe Wendy's house has a.
I don't have. Not common, I think.
I think inter-terrace don't have. Must be those like a semi-D at least, because you need the land.
Actually, you own the land, right? You want swimming pool, you just do a swimming pool.
Where?
I think it'll be quite funny when the US viewers look at us. Then you all keep talking about landed. Then everybody also landed. Then it's
Yeah
like,
lah.
well, you're talking about swimming pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is different here. Yeah, I really gotta say that there's no comparison. You go to another country, you have so much land. You go to my wife hometown, walao, the land is like 不用钱 I mean 要钱 but it's not really as much as Singapore. Singapore really cost an arm and a leg. Yeah. So I don't know lah. You say land is land, yeah, sure. But is it really?
It's just a status game. And this
Yeah.
status game only played by the people here. People here will understand. You go and
Yeah.
talk to people from other countries, they play different game.
Yeah. Like sometimes
Yeah.
people don't understand like why Singaporean act like this or act like that. Why we go and hoard toilet paper. I don't know. It's just human thing. We just want to snatch the thing that is scarce, right? Y'all got anything to continue?
Closer.
Close. So Kelvin, where are you targeting to buy?
The S&P 500. ETF.
Talk so long, you still buy
Hui.
SM.
Yeah, got converted really.
Yeah.
No, like I
convert.
say, I want and I'm open, but whether I'm going to do it is another thing lah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Kicking.
bye.
Okay, bye. I have not much comments. Bagang.
Okay.
Okay.